Do you ever find yourself in a situation where you're explaining yourself to someone and you just can't find the right words to say? Do you find that you're often wishing that people could see things from your point of view? Well, stay tuned. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to argue. And today, it's about being humble. The word argue for many people has a negative connotation. It's something that they view as contentious or maybe bad in some way. But I'm here to tell you that isn't necessarily the case. In fact, most of our conversation with others is argumentation, whether we know it or not. To argue really means to have a claim and then to use an explanation or evidence to support that claim. A really simple example would be this. I saw him today who was really bad. The reason I knew he was bad was because he hurt someone unnecessarily. You see how this wasn't contentious and it wasn't bad. In fact, it was just something that you would see in a normal conversation. And that's all argument really is. Even if the person that we're arguing plays dirty, we still need to be humble. And what I mean by this is we need to exhibit faith and charity, which for argumentation really means that we, one, believe that the person we're arguing with, or at least we assume or tell ourselves in the argument with the other person that our interlocutor, or in other words the person we're arguing with, has a sound mind and can think things through logically. The other side to humility is to have charity. To have charity means that when we restate a person's argument, or when we try to evaluate somebody's argument, we give them the benefit of the doubt. When something seems unclear about their argument, we represent their argument in the best possible way. People who don't argue with humility tend to twist people's words around, and in a lot of cases, this can become what we call a straw man fallacy. I'll show you an example of an argument in which somebody is actually faithful and charitable in their response.
Details. I'll say it as I understand it, and then you can tell me how I've got it wrong. The government changed the law saying that there are neutral nouns that mandatorily would be applied to people identified as transgender. You said that is an imposition on freedom of speech, whilst I would make a decision whether or not I would. If I was meeting a transgender person, I would talk to them how they wanted to be talked to. The fact that you're making it law is an impediment on the freedom of speech, and then it kicked off.
Yeah, that's a good summary of it. Yeah, I would say. I mean,
Now, I would also like to show you an example of when somebody responds to an argument without faithfulness and charity.
You have regulations on top of regulations, and new companies cannot form, and old companies are going out of business, and you want to increase the regulations and make them even worse. I'm going to cut regulations, but I'm going to cut taxes, big league, and you're going to raise taxes.
Did you notice how in the first example, the person respected the other? On the side of faithfulness, they seemed to understand that the other person was thinking logically, that they were able to reason through things. And then on the side of charity, they kept their interlocutor's argument intact. They didn't make a fake argument out of it, in their own words, attacking that one. However, in the second situation, it was quite the opposite. In fact, the person had no respect for their interlocutor in that they came up with a completely different argument. Not only that, on the charity side, but on the faithfulness side. They tended to have this attitude towards the other person in which they seemed to not think of them very highly. Perhaps they looked at them as though they did not have the ability to think through things logically. Before I finish, I want to point out one thing, because many people fall prey to this and it hurts their credibility and their integrity as an arguer. When you attack somebody rather than their argument, that is the point at which you are no longer arguing with humility. I hope this information has been valuable to you. I hope this affects the way that you think through things logically. This is only the beginning to a series of argumentation, and I hope that you can really draw from this strength in an argument so that you can meet your goals. this point, you're probably wondering why I've been in a car so much for the last couple of videos, and it'll probably keep happening for a little while because I am in the car a lot of the day for deliveries. Anyways, as far as the video goes, I enjoyed preparing for it, and I hope you liked it too. If you did, press the like button below. Also subscribe if you haven't yet, pressing that bell button so you can stay notified. And if there's any way in which I can improve, leave a comment, let me know. Or just leave a comment if there's a question you have or something that you want to see in a future video. Otherwise, this is Freedom Thinks with Timothy Rogers. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.